Welcome back. Thank you, Mallory, for the wonderful words of encouragement you gave us today. And thank you for the insight on the importance of being part of a small group. Our last speaker for today is Sarah Edwards. Sarah Edwards and her husband live in South East London with their 4 lovely daughters, and they're expecting their 5th in July, a little boy. Sarah is the first member of our local Catholic mothers group and tells us all about her experience of a small group. Over to you, Sarah.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I am here today to talk about how the Catholic Mothers weekly meetings have helped me in my life and on my journey in faith, and specifically how the Endow courses have helped to build upon that. So I think to start, I'd just like to say I'm sorry that we're not all together at the conference. I was really looking forward to it, and I'm so sorry that I'm not standing in front of everybody giving this speech. It feels very strange sitting here recording something to no one. So I hope that it goes okay, and I hope that you take something from it, and I hope that the virtual conference is good and helps you in the same way. So I think to start with my story, we really need to go into a bit of background. I'd like to give an idea of the things that have happened leading up to these groups. So I think to start with, I was raised as a Catholic. My parents were Catholic. We went to Mass each week. We celebrated the sacraments. We did all the things that a Catholic family does do. And I think as a teenager, I just found it really mundane and boring. I still went to Mass on a Sunday, but I don't think I really understood what I was celebrating. I was given a lot of advice by my mother and information, but I didn't really take it in. I don't think I was that interested. I knew that there was a God, and I didn't want to do anything to make him angry, but I wasn't really that interested in my faith. I just went to church, I think, as a default. So as a young adult, I spent a lot of time out with my friends, drinking and partying and doing all the normal things that young adults do. And I think that a lot of the things that I did were not very good for me, not very good for my soul, and they haven't really helped me in my general life. So then I met my now husband, and we got married when I was 21, and by the time I was 24 I had 3 children. So I had the first, and then I had twins 2 years later. So I think as a 24-year-old with 3 very young children, I did find it quite difficult, and we found it difficult as a family to attend Mass on a Sunday. We didn't always go. We found it difficult to, I think, involve God in our lives, and I suppose we drifted away a bit as a family. We didn't really have the kind of life that we should have done. I think also it didn't seem important at the time because we were rushing around looking after 3 small children. We didn't really think about the bigger picture, and I didn't really, I still said my prayers before I went to bed, but other than that we didn't really talk about God or read the Bible together or say prayers together or do any of those things which would have enriched our faith in our lives together. So I moved to Catford when the twins were a year old. So I had twins who were a year old, and I had a daughter who was 3 years old. And my daughter started at the nursery in Catford, the same nursery that I went to as a child. So we'd moved back to where I had grown up. So I knew a lot of the people that were at the school already. I recognised the teachers, and I knew a lot of the parents. I knew their families, and it was quite a close-knit community. So that was nice. I felt like I belonged somewhere, which was nice. And I started thinking about the fact that we didn't attend mass regularly, and the fact that we didn't really have God in our lives. But at that time, it was sort of like a fleeting thought. I didn't really pay much attention to it. I was too interested in other things, you know, going out with my friends. I'd still go out fairly often with friends, and having a drink and a laugh and doing things that young people do. But I was a mother of 3 children, so I should maybe have not been going out as much. And we just didn't really have that sort of faith-based family life. I would say prayers with my daughter, you know, every now and again, just because it would come into my head that I probably should. So I would just say a prayer with her, and before she went to bed, to make sure that she's got that instilled in her, because I thought it was a good thing. I didn't really think too much into it. I would go to mass and not really understand what it was I was celebrating, or what we were celebrating as a family. I just didn't really have that. I didn't have that connection, I don't think, with my faith, with God and with Jesus. It just wasn't there. I'd go to mass on a Sunday, and then I'd come home, and that would be it. It wouldn't be there for the rest of the week. It wouldn't be part of our daily routine, or we wouldn't celebrate Saints' Days, or put things into our lives that was part of our faith. It was just mass on a Sunday, and that was that. So I started taking my daughter to nursery, and when I was taking her to nursery, I met a few women who I noticed had biggish families, and they all seemed happy and just more content with life than I was. And I think I really struggled to understand what it was that they had that I didn't, because I had 3 children and felt like, oh, it's very stressful, and I felt a bit resentful, I think, about having the 3 children and having to always be there for them, and be looking after them all the time, and getting up early to take them to childminder so I could go to work. And I think I found it a bit of a struggle. But these women that I'd met just seemed to be able to deal with things, and they seemed happy and content. So I started thinking about our faith more, because the thing that all these women seemed to have was a very strong faith. I'd see them in church, and I knew from their social media accounts and things that they did things outside of mass on a Sunday, and it did really make me start to question things more. So I started speaking to Chiara, and I was suggesting to her that we set up a youth group so that the youth could come once a week, and we could discuss things like why do we believe in saints, and what is it that we believe about the Eucharist. And I said, and then we could do the research, and then we could come back each week and discuss it with the youth. So I think Chiara saw through me a bit, in that she then decided to set up a weekly group for mothers to meet. She already had her Facebook Catholic Mothers group, so she did it all through that, and I think she knew that I was really the one asking the questions and sort of using a youth group as just so that I didn't have to say, well, it's me, I don't really know these things, because I think at the time I felt a little bit embarrassed that I wasn't that involved in my faith. So for me, when she said that she was setting up a group for mothers on a Thursday, I was really excited, and I knew that it just felt like the start of something. I felt like things were going to get better. So I went to the group on the Thursday, and the first thing we did, we read a book, Divine Mercy for Mums, which was great. We read that each week when we came together and answered all the questions. We moved on to the Friendship Project, and we also did a few weeks on saints, which was very interesting for me, because up until that point I dismissed saints completely. I thought it was a load of rubbish. I didn't understand how you could know that, you know, someone had gone to heaven and that we were then supposed to pray through them. I think I just thought it was really stupid, and I just didn't accept saints at all. So these groups, when we were talking about saints, really helped me to understand, and I didn't realise that there was, naively, yes, I didn't realise the process that happens in order for a saint to be recognised as a saint by the Catholic Church. I just thought that, oh, they were good and the church just gave them sainthood. So it seems really stupid now, but at the time I think I just dismissed it. I didn't even want to look into it because I just thought it was stupid. So those weekly groups have really helped build upon my faith. And then we started talking about our aspirations and what we wanted in life. And I remember at that point I was just solely focused on wanting to build on my career and get more money. We didn't have enough money to live, and the idea of having more children was not on my mind at all. So we then started discussing things each week more and more, and the weekly group really helped me see what's important in life, what my role is as a Catholic mother and a wife, and it really changed my perspective on things and really helped me to build on mine and my husband's faith and bring us closer together as a family. So I now have 4 children, and it was when the 4th was born, shortly after the 4th child was born, that we started on the Endow course. So Mary Woodard came and started with John Paul II's letter to women, which was great. It's just gives us such an opportunity to discuss things that we wouldn't otherwise know about. Especially for me, there's a lot of things that the Catholic Church teaches that I didn't know about, and these courses have really helped. The second one we did was Humanae Vitae, which was very interesting, very controversial, very brilliant, and we're now on to our third one, which is a Thomas Aquinas, which is quite challenging but also brilliant. And I think with the Endow courses, what it's done for me personally is it's really helped for me to understand what it is that the Catholic Church teaches, what it is that the Catholic Church believes for women is their role in the church, their role as a mother and a wife, and it's just great to be able to get together with a group of other mothers who are in the same position in regards to the stresses they face daily, and the things that they worry about and the things that they don't want to have to complain about all the time. So it's just great for us to be able to get together as a group, and at the same time we're learning a lot. So I think with these Endow courses, they are brilliant for coming together as a group, having that time with other wives and mothers, but also learning something at the same time, which I think is really important for mothers who don't have the time to study, who maybe haven't studied as much as a youth, and feel like they've missed out a little bit. But in this way we can do both. We bring our children to the group, so we can do both. We can be mothers and wives, but we can also study and learn something at the same time. And in doing these groups, I have learned a lot. It has really helped build on my faith. It's really helped our family unit come together, and I think without these women who are part of the group, and without the courses and without the things that I've learned, I don't think I would be in this place at the moment, spiritually, and I'm just happier than I was at that time before we all started coming together as a group. I'm just so much happier, and I think that it's very important, if you're struggling or if you are finding things difficult in life, that these courses are very important, and they help a lot. So I think that the courses themselves help, but it's more coming together with other women and other wives and other mothers that really have helped my faith and have helped me build upon my faith, and has helped me see things differently, in regards to the church and God and Jesus and saints and the Eucharist. And we've been meeting now for I think it's about 3.5 years, and so much has changed in my life. It's just amazing, the change that I've seen in my own life. I'm expecting my 5th child now in August, and at the start of these groups I never ever would have considered that would be the case, because I think I'd got to a point with the twins where I just decided I didn't want any more, and my faith was really slipping away, and these groups and these women have really helped to revive that. So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell. It's very, very small and quick way of giving my story. I really wish I could be at the conference so that we could talk more, and I could talk more with women about other things, but hopefully we'll be able to all come together again soon, and hopefully we'll be able to put on a conference next year or the year after, so that we can discuss these things more and have more interaction with one another. So I hope everyone is well and staying safe, and I'll be praying for everyone. Thank you.